Hello guys, this week we're going to do another one of these quick builds to test out the new vehicle controller. Hopefully this one will work out a little bit better than the Volvo A40D did. It is a very simple Subaru Impreza rally car. So basically all we're expecting here is drive motor and a steering motor, not a steering servo, steering motor, but hopefully unlike the Volvo, the steering will self-center in this. So I think with some pulse width modulation we should be able to get proportional steering. So this is another 27 MHz radio controlled car, or radio controlled vehicle. The Volvo was also 27 MHz, but I'm hoping this will be a little bit better than the Volvo because this is produced by Taiyo RC, and I think it's the same company that used to produce Taiyo Edge RC when I was a kid, and they were always really good models. So I don't expect there to be any proportional control. It's just going to be push the button to go forward, push the button to go back, push the button to go left, push the button to go right, and it's only going to go fully to the right or fully to the left. You're not going to get any proportional control. Full speed forward, full speed back. That's what I'd expect. We've loads of paperwork, a few extra decals, lots of this stuff. I think I got this from Thailand, so maybe that's Thai, not sure. Could be Chinese either, maybe, because the vehicle was made in China. So nothing too interesting there. Our antenna for our controller is here, so just basic antenna there, nothing special. And here's our car, so I need to screw it off, but you can see that our steering is a motor and a spring to return it to the center, so that's pretty ideal. So here's the little car. It is 1/32 scale. That's the reason I chose it, and I just chose the Impreza because I thought it was one of the cooler models, but you can get other models from the same Taiyo RC I don't know, product line, I suppose, other World Rally cars. So looks like the motor comes out. The motor comes out very easy. I wonder why that is. Maybe you could upgrade the motor in these models. That's pretty cool. Okay, so not too much to see here, so I guess I'll get some batteries and we'll do a benchmark test of this model, see how it performs. I'll probably do it on the scenery, same as the Volvo, and then probably in the next video I'll add the vehicle PCB. So I expect this to perform pretty well. It doesn't have to pull a big load, it just has to drive around. We'll see if it can climb a few hills. That would be pretty ideal. Pretty cool if we could get the wheels to spin, but I doubt it. I'd say the motor won't have anywhere near that much power, but maybe we can come up with something later on to give it some sort of a boost. I'm not really sure, I might think about that later. But the first thing I'll be doing after I've done this benchmark test is to just convert it straight to my system of control without making any modifications. So here we have the model out of the box. As I said, there's no speed control, so it's just push the button and away it goes. And I'll show you, it's pretty quick. That's not too bad, it's not uncontrollable. You mightn't be able to see there, but the turn on the wheels isn't huge, but at least it's actually controllable, unlike the Volvo that we seen last week. So it looks like it needs a little bit of tweaking. It doesn't turn to the right as easy, but we do have the little adjuster on the bottom of the car. So here's a close-up of the steering, and you can see when there's no load on it's a little bit better, but this little adjuster lets you adjust the angle of the steering, so you could turn it some crazy, so it's always steering more to the right there than the left. Well, actually it's steering more to the left by the looks of things. Yeah. Well, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, we won't need to worry about that too much, I don't think. But like you can see, there isn't much steering. So let's test it out on the diorama and see how it corners. Okay, so we've built a bit of a test track here. Just put some of the sections of the road together to make a bit of a just a circular section of road. So I've had to set the steering, that little adjustment thing, all the way over to the left, so we can only really go around it in one direction because the steering is pretty bad. So I'll show you the model in action then. So let's see how it goes. So it's pretty quick, but we are clearly lacking control because we have no adjustment in our speed or any real adjustment in our steering, even though the steering isn't great. So we are going to have to, well, the speed control is going to come naturally when we install the other board, but the steering, we're going to have to take a little look at the steering and see if there any way that we can improve the steering lock on this model. So that's what we're going to have to do to improve it, but because this has two AA batteries in it, I think what I'll do now is just solder in contacts so that I can plug in a 3.7 volt LiPo battery and see if that improves the model in any way. It should make it a little bit faster at least, because the LiPo should deliver power much faster than the AA batteries that are in it. And I'm only going to do this because I don't really care if I break the electronics inside this model, because I'm going to be throwing that away anyway. The motors won't be damaged by 3.7 volts, they'll probably be fine to 6 or maybe even 10 volts. They're usually just cheap motors that are in all these toy models. So this is just a before shot of inside the battery holder. So you can see our two AA batteries there. Well, actually I have AAA batteries inside, kind of AA shells. So that's all there is there. And now I'll go and switch it for the LiPo. Okay, here's the modified one. All I did was solder two wires to the battery contacts there and add a little connection so I could plug in this LiPo battery. So you can see the battery is much smaller, much lighter than the previous one. So you'll remember that our model could barely get round the corners. I have adjusted the steering back to the centre now because I don't think we're going to need any help getting round the corners now. It's now so fast that I can't hold the speed button down or it's just going to shoot straight off the diorama, as I learnt the first time I put it on the diorama. But now the wheels are even spinning. Even on the sandpaper it looks like. So we have way more power than we did before. So it's pretty obvious that changing the battery made a huge difference to that model. So when we put our controller in it, I'm pretty confident that the motor driver we're using is going to have a much lower voltage drop than probably the transistors that they use in this. So I have a feeling that we'll get slightly better performance from that again. So make sure and keep watching, and in the next video I'll get modifying this model, put the new vehicle control PCB into it, and we should have a very controllable model, because this is pretty hard to control. It's really fast, and we can't slow down for the corners, so you're either full on or full off. So we need a bit of proportional control so that we can get some nice cornering from this model, but it is clearly going to be a really good model. So if you liked that video, make sure and hit the like button, and if you have any comments or suggestions, let me know below the video or head on over to the forum. And I think that's pretty much everything, so thanks very much for watching.